Prove it. Find the puppet maker. If they believe that I am a hoaxer, prove it. Discover my real identity. It certainly doesn't matter to me at this point.
You need some water?
Let me say, no. Let us finish this.
All right. Let's move on to some new areas. How do you respond about rumors in the UFO community that Cheney and Rumsfeld have known about the EBEs since the Nixon administration?
Well, certainly Cheney knows everything there is to know within the government. There's not much that is kept secret from the general public that Cheney does not know. As for Rumsfeld, Rumsfeld is a bombastic clown, but he has certainly shown quite a bit of interest in new technologies, shall we say. I will say this to those UFO researchers who seem to be sitting on their hands waiting for someone else to bring them information. If you do your research and discover where Rumsfeld was in the middle of March of this year, I think you will learn a few things that perhaps you would like to know.
Would you care to elaborate?
No, I would not care to elaborate, and I frankly don't think that you, the producers of this documentary, would like for me to elaborate.
Do you think that President Bush has been kept up to date on our ET program, or that Cheney has kept all the information from him?
President Bush, now there is a puppet. There is your artificial marionette. And no one seems to be able to identify him as an artificial president. Why should they be able to recognize a real alien when they see one? President Bush is irrelevant to the process of government, and certainly irrelevant to the decision-making that goes on from the Vice President's office.
While we're talking about the current administration, what are your thoughts about 9/11?
I'm not going to talk about 9/11.
You're not going to talk about 9/11?
9/11 is like the Bermuda Triangle. 9/11 is not part of this story. Shall we say that?
Are the EBEs still at the base in Utah?
The base at Utah.
In the Art Bell interview in 1997, you alluded, I believe more than alluded, to the fact that the EBEs were moved from Area 51
which has been
to the base in Utah.
Yes.
Are the EBEs, in your opinion, with your knowledge, are they still at the base in Utah?
The EBEs, to my knowledge, are all, at this time, deceased, if you want to call it that. Before we go any further, I just want to say to you, not to your viewers, but to you, and to that rocket person, that this will be the last time you ever see me. This will be my last statement, bar none. And this time I can say that with conviction, because it seems that this container has reached its expiration date. I am apparently not long for this world. So, this will be my final testament.
And what is your final testament?
Thank you for the compassion. As I intimated on the Art Bell interview, my involvement with S4 and the Alien Interview Program did come to an end in 1997, and I have not been involved with the Black Ops program for more than a decade. However, I have been in contact with certain individuals who are still involved in attempting to make sense of the information that was gathered before the aliens discorporated. And I'm here to tell you, gentlemen, that if I am not long for this world, you are not much longer. As the Bible thumpers say, the end times are upon us.
The end of the world?
The end of the world. We have been tested and found wanting. The aliens came. They presented themselves to humanity. They were taken and held and questioned and allowed to die. And now the reckoning is at hand. Let me give a task to these so-called investigators, these ufologists. Look into the record and attempt to determine where Donald Rumsfeld was on March 23rd of this year.
What is the significance of this Rumsfeld date that you keep referring to?
Donald Rumsfeld has been aware of the alien interviews at least since 1974, in the last days of the Nixon cabal, and even when he was out of government, he managed to keep his hand in. But it was not until the bogus telepath program was finally exposed within the secret Black Ops operation that the true translation, that the true meaning of the alien communication was made clear to him. And since then, I think you will find he has lost all interest in the United States and trivial earthly power. His sole interest now is to find a way to be one of those who are taken off when the end comes.
So what you're saying is the biblical end times are upon us? Is that what you're telling me?
It's rather childish to call them biblical, since the Bible itself is simply a smokescreen. These aliens come from the universe of science, not the universe of religion. Religion is a deliberate disinformation campaign started by those who first encountered the aliens and first kept that knowledge to themselves. Donald Rumsfeld is merely one of the last of the line of those who try to maintain personal control over information that should have been made public to the entire human race. And now that he understands exactly what it is these aliens have been trying to tell us, he has completely lost interest in the rest of humanity. His sole concern is to be one of the few, one of the what he considers to be the elite, the elect specimens, if you will, the elect specimens who are taken off the earth before the final trumpet sounds.
Well, I have to tell you, this sounds an awful lot like Armageddon. I mean, 2012, the Mayan calendar.
The Zolkeen calendar is another inaccurate representation of what we are talking about. The date 2012 is not accurate. The Mayans considered themselves to be far better mathematicians than they actually were. In point of fact, the date is very close, but not 2012. Not 2012. Not within my lifetime that's left of it. But certainly within yours. Let's just say that I wouldn't plan a 20th anniversary edition of this documentary. My head is a beehive.
You're not really saying,
Après-moi le déluge. Le déluge solaire. I won't be here for it, but you, gentlemen, will. Was it Seneca? I think it was... No, it was Strato who said, "When I am gone, let earth and fire mix. It will mean naught to me."